Hey everybody, it's Steve. Welcome back. I'd say for the last 10 or 12 years I've been hearing a beeping noise coming from this general area, but I didn't really think much of it because I thought it was the Edison company tracking my power usage or whatever. But for unrelated reasons I needed to get in this cabinet, and when I did, I heard that beep loud and clear. It sounded just like this. And I noticed on this little AT&T box a light that says replace battery. So I thought, popped open the door to that little box, and sure enough, there's this gold top battery in there, and it's probably, well, it's been in there ever since I moved in the house more than 13 years ago. So if you have one of these AT&T boxes, it means that you either have AT&T for your phone service and or for your internet service. It also means that if there's a power outage and you don't have a fresh and working battery backup, you're going to lose your phone and internet service for the duration of the power outage. So this one we know is bad, so it's critical that we replace it today, and luckily it's something that even I can do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, for me, I needed two pieces of equipment. I needed a Phillips screwdriver and I needed needle nose pliers. Now, you might not need either of those. We'll see, depending on your setup. So speaking of the setup, now I happen to have it outside a box that has the equipment in it. That's not always going to be the case. My mother-in-law, she has Verizon. She had a box similar to this inside the house, just near the wall jack. Same thing though, making a beeping noise, has a little light, tells you that you need to replace the battery. So wherever your box is, just track that down and follow the sound, and then we'll show you how to replace the battery. Alright, but if you do have a cabinet, you need to get in it, and for me, it's just a matter of loosening these 6 screws. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and Phillips screw. So let's go ahead and do that. And the last screw. So make sure you hold on to it or it'll fall away because it's not hinged or anything. Alright, then once you're inside, you'll see your box. You'll see the light that's flashing that says replace battery. And so you need to get in this compartment right here. That's just a pull on this notched area right here. And we'll just pull it to the right. Now, it does kind of have a hinge, but not really. It'll swing open, but it more than likely is going to fall away, so that's fine. And then inside you'll see your battery. Now, the battery has 2 wires, and they plug in a modular plug right up in here. So I recommend removing it from that plug and then dealing with the wires after you have the battery out. So I'm just going to reach up in here. I'm going to push and pull down. Okay, so you removed your modular clip. Now we're just going to pull the battery forward. Now there's a piece of plastic here that you're going to need to just swing out to the left a little bit so that you can clear the battery. And then you can pull forward. Now, it's just sitting there on that shelf. But what might happen is there's a little bit of a notch here that could obstruct the wires as you're pulling forward. So you might need to just get in there with your screwdriver or something and push the wires down out of the way so that you can then pull and clear the battery away from there. So if it's possible to just pull the wire off the mount, go for it. But I find that it is on there pretty tight, so grab yourself a pair of needle nose pliers and try not to rip away the plastic and then to pull it back. And the same on the other side. And this is the old battery, so we're going to get rid of this and we'll attach this to our new battery. Okay, so in terms of replacements, I went ahead and just replaced it with the exact same battery that was in there. There are other models out there, generic versions that are compatible. They're not, I don't think, quite as well rated, so I went ahead and got this one. I think they are a little bit more money, but you know, if it's reliable, that's what matters to me. I have a link for this one up here. You can check that out. Okay, so here's our new battery. Obviously red to red and black to black. Make sure that you actually thread it through the metal part of the clip. Alright, we're ready to slide this back in the box. Now try to push these wires back towards the black so that they're out of the way of our little notch. And then we're going to set this on the ledge, pushing the little plastic flange out of the way, and then just slide it back and make sure the wires again are on the other side of that notch. Alright, at this point then we're ready to plug in our modular clip, so just reach up and push that up and in. And there we go. So we should be back in business at this point. You'll look at our light here and you'll see that we have a green light indicating system status is green. Alright, as you saw, my door came off when I opened up the box, so I have to put that back on. Now it does have these two hinge-like things here, and they need to line up with the two slats in the side of the box. And we also need to make sure that the bottom of these two hinges line up with the two grooves that are on the receiving part of the box. So I'm going to line that up, making sure that it stays in that position. I will swing the door shut, and you might need to sort of flex it in on the other side. And there we go. Admittedly, it's actually one of the more tricky parts of the whole job, but we got it. All right. All right, so we can give this a test now. If we unplug this, the battery should kick in, and we should see that on our display. So I'll go ahead and unplug this. All right, we heard that warning sound, and if you take a look at your panel, you'll see that the battery power light is on, meaning that it is operating based on the power of the battery, not on the plug. Now, as I mentioned, if you have a power outage, you have to have this battery working and fully charged so that you can continue to use your phone and internet service. However, it's not the only piece of equipment that you need to ensure has a backup battery. Let me show you. All right, in the event of a power outage, my household has a few things that really want to keep working, at least for a couple hours. Number one, we want to be able to make and receive calls on our landline telephone. Number two, we'd like our cell phones to work, and that includes access to the internet via Wi-Fi. So to do that, we need to make sure that we maintain continuous power to our AT&T modem, my Google Nest, which powers the Wi-Fi, and then down below in my communications box I have what's called a Grand Stream, and that's what I use for my landline telephone service. All three of those things have to maintain power continuously. So let me show you how I do that. So here you can see all my equipment, and I have this battery backup system. This is an APC battery backup, and we tested it. It runs the items I have on there for about 2.5 hours. Now, it can make it that long in part because the things that I have on there are not drawing a lot of power. So if you add some computers or TVs, then you're not going to get that. So keep that in mind. But what we have is here, you can see my Google Nest and my modem for my AT&T. And then this one is for the Grand Stream, which does the landline telephone. So this top row here has both surge protection and it has backup protection. So these things will stay on for the 2.5 hours that this battery will run. This one down here, however, is just surge protection only, and this particular one is running my larger router that feeds other devices in my house. So that includes TVs, the desktop computers, and things like that. So for me, that's okay. We're not going to be using those things in a power outage, but what I want is my cell phone, and I want my landline service, and I want Wi-Fi. So those things are all covered by this top row of outlets in power protection. Okay, so we have the power off both outside at the AT&T box and upstairs in the communications center, and we're relying on backup power. So let's just make sure the phone system works. So just because you have a dial tone doesn't necessarily mean it'll work, but in our case it is working because we have our backup working properly. So good there. All right, now we'll just sit here and wait for the scammers to call, and oh, well, here comes one now. Hello? Well, yes, I would definitely be interested in lowering my cable TV bill. Tell me more. Okay, so I tested the landline phone. I verified that my Wi-Fi and my cell phone was still working. So everything was good. I went ahead and plugged the unit back in. Now again, this is the APC battery backup. And overall, I was pretty happy with it. I have it linked in the description below. A couple things I don't like. Number one, there are 4 outlets here for the universal power supply, but because they're kind of close together, I can only use 3. And you know, part of that's the issue is these big plugs like the Google thing has. So that's one thing I didn't like about it. But otherwise, for the price, I thought it was pretty good. Now, there are others out there, so shop around, pick the one that works best for you. All right, we should be done. Just make sure before you put the cover back on that you don't see a red light here where it says missing battery. That might indicate that you didn't put the modular plug in firmly enough. It's not quite secure, so go back and take care of that. You should just see the green light at the top where it says system status. All right, with that, we'll close it up and we are done for today. So if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Use our affiliate links. Get yourself a battery. Buy yourself a backup system for your other equipment inside. And until next time, this has been Steve for things that even I can do.